Hey, Shalom, brother, Shalom. It's your brother Hawashai Zion, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh with another lesson, man. Quick lesson, man, through the spirit. Power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Bashem Rakak Kwadash. All right, double honors to our teachers and elders at GMS who taught us this truth. All right, so there was an article here by Kristen Myers. I guess it was in June 27 this year, but I just came across this, man. All right, Yahoo Finance. It says slavery reparations could carry a 17 trillion price tag. Now, I don't know how the hell they came up with that, but you would literally see, this is crazy. In order for any of this to even manifest in a true fashion, all Caucasian people or Europeans, men who, obviously, take part in the American system or whatever, who are currently on the soil would have to forfeit all of their belongings immediately. That's just not going to happen. That would be justified, man, because, slavery must happen to them, and then therefore, they'd have to have everything confiscated from them immediately, okay, in order to really equal what was done to us, okay, on a mass scale. Mainly the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, okay, which is the tribe of Judah. All right, the other 10 tribes have been scattered abroad for quite a long time, man. Okay, and that's in the book of Second Ezra. I believe it's the 15th chapter and the 40th verse. Okay, so you can just go check it out. When the 10 tribes were scattered abroad long ago, man, in the Assyrian captivity. All right, so that's what it is. That was a long, long, long time ago, man. We had a jump start in captivity, and that's what it is. So it says a new bill would calculate potential costs for reparations, and by Yahoo Finance estimates, these could reach as high as 17.1 trillion. So that's completely unfathomable, and the U.S. is in debt already 22 trillion. So there's really no way to disperse that, and then you'd have to calculate lineages and everything like that, and who could really prove it. Then they would try to misconstrue that, and then you would have, of course, so-called, well, let's call them Idumeans, okay, for the time being. We all know who that is. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, you should know who the Idumeans are and the Edomites. All right, but you would have Idumeans basically saying that they were descendants of slaves, and then they would in turn inherit some of this, just like they do with Native American culture. They say they're Native American, like the lady, what's her name, Congresswoman, she's running for president, Senator Elizabeth Warren, okay? She says that she is Native American, but I guess she has less than 1% of her bloodline or something like that. Which for all intents and purposes, the lady could be. But then there'd be the burden of proof. It'd be really tough. And then, this is a spiritual thing. So really there'd be a lot of foul play involved in this. It would never truly be justified. And it never will actually happen. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has to gather all the Israelites from the four corners of the earth. And then, the destruction is going to hit. Okay? Revelation 7 talks about hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor any tree, till where you've sealed the servants in their foreheads. Okay, so we're, give them the understanding, give them the knowledge, and once they're sealed and everybody's good, obviously they're going to get, taken up in the clouds with Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and those chariots, and then all types of hell and destruction is going to come down. All right, to make atonement. well, not atonement. Let me back it up. To really, really be a payback, so to speak, or be a punishment, a proper punishment onto the wicked. All right, the 2/3 of Israel, and then all the other nations that are going to gather against the Lord's people, Israel. Okay, so just a crazy thing here. It says it says about $17 trillion, man. So, but that's never going to happen, man. All right, you brothers can read it. I'll probably post a link to the article so you can read it yourself. It says last week the House Judiciary Subcommittee And the Constitution, it says civil rights and civil liberties held the first hearing in a decade on H.R. 40, the Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposals for African Americans, which it was more than that. It was more than that, okay, so-called African Americans. And then there's another thing about proving that you're African, okay? Because, listen, we were scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. So, this gets deep, brothers, man. It says the bill was first introduced in 1989 by former Congressman John Conyers. Okay, Conyers reintroduced the bill each year until his retirement, 2017. And each year the bill languished in Congress. Okay, so this is crazy because, whoever John Conyers is, he must be a Jake. He's got that spirit of wanting to help, which is a good thing. He could be a Jake. I don't know who the guy is. Never met him. Never talked to him. Just alone, that's just a spiritual thing. Why would you care every year to introduce reparations? Bill, and it's always constantly getting shot down. And why? Because the Idumeans are in power. This is never going to be implemented. Never. Okay, it says the bill's focus was not to pass reparations, but to research the impact slavery had on black Americans and develop proposals for redress. Okay, so that, even the research aspect of it, that's not going to be concluded because that would be very tedious. It would be extremely expensive, and there's really just the whole country in general, man, is evidence that it happened, but it's incalculable. It's unable to be calculated because we didn't live in that time era, and then you have to research back. You got to make sure the records are all correct. They do this on purpose, you know what I mean, so that everything could be misconstrued, and you can't really go into it. And who's to say whether we're right or wrong? And then the gray area leaves just so much doubt that they just don't do anything about it. For lack of accuracy, and that this is the way of the devil. There's a demonic way of going about things. It's kind of like over talking somebody when you're explaining a program that you're selling them. When you over talk them, they forget their arguing point because it's been so long, and they forget their rebuttal, and henceforth they give in because you over talk them. All of your bullet points of how you're selling. That's sales 101. So Esau is a master salesman. He's selling this to the American people, in the Congress, that's just not something they want to look into, and it's just too hard to calculate. So, the longer he waits, the harder and more difficult it becomes, you see. So it says payments are not, okay, and that's about it. You people can look it up yourself. I'll post the article and you can check it out, all right? Shalom Akim, we just need Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to return. Yahweh Shai is going to come and set everything in order. Shalom.